You are dating or in a relationship with a guy, and this guy is so annoying. How do you send him all the wrong signals so that you end up driving him crazy and making him want to run away from you, screaming, kicking, crying, and never wanting to talk to you again? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello, my name's Matthew Coast, and welcome to Commitment Connection. Today, we're going to be talking about how to lose a man in 7 easy steps. How do you send him all the wrong signals and make him want to run the other direction from you? So that's what we're talking about today. Let's get started. So number one, first thing that you want to do if you really want to get rid of a guy is to assume that he's cheating on you and then interrogate him every single chance that you get. So turn everything that happens that's going on in the dating relationship thing, everything that he does, into him potentially cheating on you. So he shows up late from work. He's not getting back to you immediately. He's spending time with anyone but you. Could be family members, could be friends, could be anyone. Accuse him of cheating. You know he's cheating. You know it. Accuse him of it. Tell him that he's cheating on you and say that you're not going to stand for it anymore. And every single time he does anything like that, accuse him of cheating. Step number one is assume that he's cheating on you and then interrogate him every single moment you possibly can. Number two is get his friends drunk and hook up with as many of them as you possibly can. If you want to and then once you're done doing that, remind him of how you hooked up with his friends. Anytime he tries to do something nice for you, or even when he doesn't, just tell him every chance that you get. Or you don't actually have to hook up with any of his friends, but just tell him that you hooked up with his friends, because that's kind of a better solution than actually hooking up with his friends. So do that every time you can. Remind him or tell him that you hooked up with his friends, and tell him how many guys you've hooked up with, and try to make it a really big number, right? Like take your actual number and multiply it by like 3 or 5 or 10 or something like that. And tell him that you're always on the prowl looking for a new guy to hook up with. Number three is, sorry, this isn't funny. Maybe it is a little bit funny. Number 3 is get upset about everything that you can and make sure that you cry about it. So cry about things, get upset. Use phrases like, am I not enough for you? And do you not love me? And just question whether he loves you and what's going on in the relationship and whether he actually cares about you and why he's not doing the things that he should be doing. And just do it as much as you can, and then cry and then blame him and attack him for it every single chance that you get. And trust me, that if the first 2 haven't worked yet, number 3 will definitely get him. Number 4 is quit your job, move in with him, and then replace all of his stuff with your stuff. And then so move into his place, take his stuff, throw it out, get rid of it, donate it somewhere. That's the best, especially if it's expensive. Donate as much of his stuff as you possibly can. Replace it with your stuff, and then when he starts asking about it, which he naturally he's going to be like, "Hey, what happened to my guitar? What happened to my lucky hat? What happened to my dog?" I don't know what a good dog's name is. Billy the dog. Let's say Billy's the dog. What happened to Billy? What happened to Billy? And just tell him that whatever he's asking about was ugly and you needed to get rid of it because you don't want to have ugly stuff in this house and he's too good for that kind of stuff. And try to get rid of as many things as possible, and just tell him when he asks, just tell him it was ugly. Your dog was ugly. That's what you want to tell him. Your dog was ugly. So number 5 is use sex as a bargaining tool, and tell him that you're not going to have it with him unless he does what you want. and use it as often as you possibly can, and make it for really for doing lots and lots of things, right? So just whenever you get a chance, tell him that he's not gonna hook up with you tonight if he doesn't act right and do what you tell him to do, right? He's not getting that cookie. He's not getting the cookie unless he does what you tell him to do. And do that as many times as possible and throw it in his face as much as you can. All right, number 6 is accuse him of wanting to leave you, and do it as much as you possibly can. So, are you going to leave me? Did you find someone else? Are you sleeping with that girl at work? Are you going to leave me for him? Or her? Then cry about it and accuse him, attack him. I think maybe you're getting the picture here. So again, if all the stuff before this hasn't done it, then start accusing him, start framing things as him wanting to leave you, and he's going to leave you, and everything means that he's going to leave you. He's leaving you, and you came home from work. Are you leaving me? You don't love me anymore. You don't want to be with me. Do that as much as possible. And right now, if you haven't driven him crazy at this point, do number 7, right? Number 7 is to tell him to compliment you once every hour and then lose your mind if you doesn't. So say things like, do I look beautiful? And what do you think of my hair? And what do you think of my outfit? And just constantly bait him for compliments. Just all the time, just constantly. And if he doesn't, tell him he doesn't love you. And ask him if he's sure. And question all of it, right? And just do that over and over and over again. And I promise you, if you do these 7 things, you will absolutely drive him crazy and run him out of your life. No questions asked about it. Again, number 1, you're assuming that he's cheating on you and interrogating him every single chance you get. Number 2 is get his friends drunk and either hook up with him or don't, and just tell him that you did. Number 3 is get upset about everything that you can and then cry about it. Number 4 is quit your job, move in with him, and then replace all of his stuff with yours. And when he asks about it, tell him how ugly his dog is. Number 5 is use sex as a bargaining tool and use it as often as possible and try to get him to do all kinds of crazy, stupid things for it. And then don't give it to him anyway. Don't give it to him anyway. Just keep him on the cycle. Just say, oh, no, now you need to do this. Now you need to do that. Now you need to do this. Number 6 is accuse him of wanting to leave you and do it all the time. So you want to frame him as wanting to leave you and that he's going to leave you and that he doesn't love you and that he doesn't care, and just do that as often as possible. Accuse him of finding someone else. And then number 7, constantly bait him for compliments. Do I look beautiful? You're just saying that. You're lying to me. Are you sure? I don't think you really care. You don't love me. Just do that as much as you possibly can. And I promise you this will drive him completely insane and run him out of your life.